I'm Jessica Carter. We're so glad to have you. If this is your first time, that's perfectly fine. Just try to listen to my cues and let your brain figure out what to do. And just glance up at the screen every once in a while to kind of make sure you landed in the right somewhat position. So this is really about listening. It's really about meeting your body where it is and not judging it. And it's about breathing. The oil I'm using today is called Breathe. And I often find myself holding my breath a little. And I like that reminder to breathe. Breathe encourages individuals to release grief and sadness and to receive genuine love and healing. Breathe supports one's relationship with spirit and deepens one's connection to life. It invites individuals to let go, breathe out, and receive, breathe in. This blend teaches individuals to embrace life through breath. Breath imbues individuals with the courage to fully open. Deep inhale and exhale. Coming into a comfortable seated position and really starting to ground in the sit bones. Deep inhale and exhale. Inhale, open to receive. Exhale, let it go. Deep inhale and exhale. Bringing our hands to heart center now and setting your intention for this practice. It may be breathing. It may be movement. It may be peace. Maybe you do want to let go of some grief or sadness. I'm going to let you have a couple of breaths here to set your intention. Bringing our hands to our knees now and moving into half neck rotations. We're rolling our neck from shoulder to shoulder only in the front. Sometimes when we roll all the way around, it actually creates more tension in the back. Be intentional, rolling from one shoulder to the other, almost like you're tracing a smiley face with your nose. And we're beginning to connect with the breath here, inhaling on the up and exhaling on the down. We're warming up the neck, and we're also beginning to check in. How does the neck feel today? Does it want you to hold down? Does it want you to hold on one side? This is truly your practice, and as we begin to check in with the body, if the body is asking you for something, make sure that you give it to it. Dropping our left ear to the left shoulder now. At any time, if you feel you want to hold a pose a breath or two longer, inhale up and exhale to the other side. If you feel you want to come out of a pose quicker than I do, or if you're a breath ahead or a breath behind, all of that is perfectly fine. Inhale up. I want you to truly believe that this is your practice. This is about you giving your body what it needs. Deep inhale and exhale. Moving into big shoulder rotations backwards, inhaling up and exhaling, rolling the shoulders down and back. 3 more. And now starting with some big hip circles. Yet again, we're starting to check in with that lower back. We are warming up the lower back. But start to listen. Is there a spot where your body wants you to just hold and take a couple of breaths there? Almost like you're sending the breath to that area. And one more in this direction. And when you're ready, start to move in the other direction. Maybe your body is craving that movement, or maybe it wants you to hold and breathe. If you're doing the movement, thinking about inhaling up and exhaling over. One more in this direction. And sitting up tall, grounding those sit bones. Deep inhale and exhale. Crossing that right hand over to the left knee and sliding the other hand back, just coming to a gentle twist. The crown of your head reaching towards the ceiling. Deep inhale and exhale. Back to center and rotating to the other side now. With each inhale, lengthening in the spine, and with each exhale, twist a little further, but still gently. This is very early in our practice. And back to center. Deep inhale, exhale with sound. Deep inhale, and sigh it out. Coming to hands and knees. Moving into traditional cat-cow. Chin up, heart open, big inhale, and exhale. Big curve in the spine, tucking the chin. Inhale, chin up, heart open. And exhale like a cat that's stretching. And feel free to stay with traditional cat-cow. But if you prefer, you can start to explore in the body. Some options are big spine rotations. We can do hip and knee rotations. Or you can kick the chin to the hip, hip to the chin, and then try that on the other side. I love this. I love exploring in the body because you're really starting to listen and give the body what it needs. And if you've done a movement to one side and need to even it up, please take the next few breaths and do the other side. And when you're ready and you feel like that both sides are even, walk your knees to the edge of the mat, toes together, and push back into child's pose. We'll be here for about 5 breaths, and I want this pose to feel amazing. So if this is putting some pressure on your knees, you can put a blanket or a towel in between your calves and thighs. Another option is to fold your hands right underneath your forehead and rest your forehead. Or you could even stack fists here and rest your forehead on those fists. Anytime you come to this pose, I want it to feel amazing. And at any time in this practice, if you feel like you need to return to this pose, your body is craving this pose, please do so. Even in my studio, I never judge anybody for just taking a child's pose. I'm actually quite proud of them for giving their body what it needs. And on your next inhale, we're returning to hands and knees. Curl our toes under and press back into down dog. Now this is our first down dog. So we really want to start loosening up those hamstrings, bending one knee and then the other. We call that walking our dog. And we're making sure we're not putting all the pressure into our wrists. So our fingers are spread, and we're actually pushing into those fingers to help alleviate any pressure from the wrists. And 2 more breaths here. And on your next inhale, slowly walking the hands all the way to the feet, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, allowing the neck and head to be the last thing to rise. And inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead and pushing the walls away, slowly diving back down, coming into our first forward fold. Now, a forward fold may seem like it's about hamstrings, but it's actually not. So bend into those knees a little bit, just as much as that's comfortable, and watch how it releases that tension in the lower back. We're actually thinking about our abs resting on our thighs and then releasing that tension in the lower back. And we can just hang heavy here. Nod our head yes, shake it no, starting to release that tension in the shoulders and neck. And on your next inhale, coming up to a flat back. So fingers may come to fingertips. If you have a block, maybe they come to a block. Or we can put flat palms on our shins and really thinking about making that back flat like a tabletop. And exhale, fold, walking out into a plank. And I want to show you something here. So in the plank, we're trying to be in a great line all the way from our head. So we're not dipping too far down, trying not to have that took us up in the air, just a plank basically. And I want us to go to and from plank into down dog because we really shouldn't make many adjustments here. So here's down dog and here's plank. So my hands are right underneath the shoulders, down dog, and then plank. So notice that I really am not making adjustments there. So when we're in a down dog, it shouldn't be crazy wide like this, and it shouldn't be really close like this. So the plank to a down dog is a good test. As long as those hands are right underneath your shoulders, it's a good test to make sure we're doing that well. And now tiptoe all the way up to your hands, coming to a forward fold at the top of the mat now. And yet again, we're probably still bending those knees, thinking about the abs, resting on the thighs and releasing that tension. And inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Returning to that intention, or perhaps picking a new one. Deep inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And stepping back with that right leg, dropping the right knee down. Hands can frame the foot. They can come up to the knee, or they can sweep up overhead. This is Anjaneyasana. Pressing into the top of that back foot, engage those inner thighs, drawing them together. Draw the navel in and up. Roll those shoulders down and back. Energy shooting all the way through the fingertips. Deep inhale. And exhale, frame the foot, stepping back into plank. We're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel free to slowly lower, or anytime you can drop those knees first and then lower down. Pushing up into Sphinx to start. So for Sphinx, elbows are under the shoulders. My fingers are still spread wide. I'm really pushing into those elbows and rolling the shoulders down and back. I'm pushing into the tops of my feet, engaging those inner thighs. I'm pulling the navel in and up. This is quite an active pose. And deep inhale. And exhale. Bringing the hands under the shoulders, curl the toes, and press back into down dog. So listening to the body here, does it still want that movement of bending one leg and then the other? Or is it ready to find stillness? In stillness, we're thinking about shining the heart back towards the ankles. We're thinking about the heels reaching towards the ground. They may never get there, and that's okay. And on your next inhale, looking forward in between the hands, stepping the right foot forward, dropping that back knee down. Hands can frame the foot, come up to the knee, or sweep up overhead. And remember, we're in charge of engaging everything, pressing into the top of the foot, engaging inner thighs, navel in and up, shoulders down and back. And one more big inhale. And exhale, frame the foot, step the back foot to the front, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. One round of breath here. Deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Stepping back with that left leg now. Dropping that back knee down. And all of our hands are going to come to the knee. And we're just going to come into a gentle twist over that leg. If you need to put a towel or a blanket under your knees during any of the poses like this, please feel free to do so. Inhale, lengthening the spine. And exhale, twisting a little bit further. And inhale back to the front. Exhale, frame the foot, stepping back into plank. Your choice here, you can always choose to go to your knees, or you can lower straight down, chaturanga. Feel free to keep doing Sphinx, or the next option is Cobra. In Cobra, my thighs are staying on the ground. My hands are placed underneath the shoulders. My shoulders are still rolled down and back. And I want you to experiment here, locking those arms out or bending into those arms. That makes a big difference. Engaging the thighs, engaging the abs. And now curl those toes under, pressing back into down dog. We'll be here for about 4 breaths. Thinking about those sit bones reaching towards the sky, and the shoulders are away from the ears here. Looking forward in between the hands, stepping forward with that left leg now, dropping the back knee down, hands coming up to the knee, and twisting over the other leg. Inhale, coming back to forward. Exhale, framing the foot, stepping back into plank. Hold, and then your choice, how you lower. And inhale. You can choose to go to Cobra, Sphinx, or Up Dog. Up Dog, those thighs are lifted up off of the ground. Go ahead and experiment and see. And as you do yoga more and more, it's okay to try things again and again. It's funny how from one day to the next, I might be able to do one thing and the next day I can't. That's okay. That's meeting your body where it is. Pushing back into down dog. And on your next inhale, looking forward in between the hands, step or jump those feet to the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Hopefully we're starting to warm up here. And inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands, step or jump back into plank. And then your choice here. So lower down, pushing up into Sphinx Cobra or Up Dog, pressing back into Down Dog, or at any time, feel free to take a child's pose. On your next inhale, looking forward in between the hands, step or jump those feet to the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, pushing the walls away with your fingertips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, step or jump back into plank. Your choice here. How you lower, how you rise. If you take a child's pose, and we'll always meet back in down dog. On your next inhale, sweeping that right leg high to the sky, thinking about the heel towards the ceiling, toes are slanted down. You can stay here. You can drop that heel to the glutes and extend and bring that foot down, looking forward in the between the hands, step or jump those feet to the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take a round of breath here. Deep inhale. And exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale, sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, step or jump back into plank. Your choice, how you lower. You come up into cobra or up dog. And we'll meet back in down dog. On your next inhale, sweeping that left leg high now. Chin towards the ceiling. I just said chin. Heel towards the ceiling. Toes are slanted down. You can drop that heel to the glutes. Straighten it back up. And bring it back down to the other foot. Looking forward in between the hands. Step or jump those feet to the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Deep inhale. And exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. And in my class at the studio, this is where I would check in and see how everybody's doing. Hopefully you guys are hanging in there. Hope you guys are really starting to warm up. And hands to the center. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step or jump back into plank. Your choice, lowering to knees or straight down chaturanga. Pushing up into Sphinx, Cobra, or Up Dog. Curl the toes and press back into Down Dog. 2 more breaths here. Deep inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, we're stepping forward with that right foot. The back foot comes to a 45-degree angle, pushing into the feet and coming up into Warrior One. In Warrior One, the hips are actually square to the front of the mat. That back foot's in a 45-degree angle, and we bend into that front knee. So if your knee is going over your toe here, you probably can walk that foot a little bit further. At any time, it's perfectly fine to make those adjustments in the feet. And so we could just be standing here, or you can really push into both feet equally, bend into that front knee. Hands can come up to prayer. And in prayer, you can push into those hands, lift those elbows, or hands can sweep up overhead. Shoulders are down and back. Deep inhale and exhale. One more. And on your exhale, frame the foot, stepping back into plank. Your choice, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, or pushing into down dog. So those three movements together, lowering down in chaturanga, pushing up into cobra or up dog, and pushing back into down dog, that's called a vinyasa. So you might even hear in a class someone say, do your vinyasa. It's those three movements together. And on your next inhale, looking forward in between the hands, stepping that left foot forward now. Back foot comes into a 45-degree angle, pushing into those feet, taking your hands on the hips, square them to the front of the mat, bending into that front knee now, grounding in the both feet, engaging those inner thighs. Navel is in and up. Hands can come to prayer. Sweep up overhead. Remember, you're in charge of making this an active pose. When we just stand there, I've heard people call that phoning it in. We don't want to phone it in. We've taken this time. We want to do great things for our body while we're here. And deep inhale. And exhale, frame that foot, stepping back into plank. Your choice now. When you do your vinyasa, you can press back into down dog, or at any time you can take a child's pose. 2 more breaths here. And on your next inhale, looking forward in between the hands, step or jump the feet to the hands. Come up into half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to set up for chair. So they can be about hip width apart, a little bit closer. I actually like to put my toes together and have my heels out kind of like a V, like a pizza. And that allows me to really squeeze into those inner thighs. And we're sitting back like we're sitting back into a chair. And we need to make sure we can see our toes. So if we're over too far, make sure we're sitting back. Hands can stay here. They can come up to prayer, or they can sweep up overhead. Now, in some of the poses that we get to a little bit later, you're going to see my arms don't do everything that I'm saying. And that's because I have a shoulder injury. And so if you're nursing something, taking care of an injury, it's completely fine to modify. In fact, if you're hurting in something and you want to post in the comments, how do I modify this? I'd be happy to tell you the modification. And one more breath here. And inhale up, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer. And we're taking that right elbow and linking it over the left knee. Pushing those hands into prayer, using that leverage to come into a beautiful twist. Feel free to glance, make sure you can see those toes. And inhale, lift. And exhale, other side. And inhale, lift. Ooh, and feel free to shake that out. Ooh, I bet you are warm now. I am definitely warm. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, step, or jump back into plank. And then your choice here. You can do your vinyasa. You can press back into down dog. Or at any time, please feel free to take a child's pose. And we'll all meet back in down dog. And on your next inhale, stepping forward into warrior two now. In warrior two, it's a little bit wider of a stance. Actually, I'm going to step with the other foot just so you can see me. That back foot is at a parallel with the back of the mat. That front knee is bending over, but we still need to be able to see our toes. And our hips now are squared with that long side of the mat. Arms come up, level with the shoulders, and we want to make sure our shoulders are stacked over our hips, both this way, so not this, and this way. So almost like we could do this against a wall. Bending into that front leg. Beautiful. And inhale up. And exhale, bend into it one more time. Changing how we breathe now. Inhale up. And bending into it one more time. Deep inhale. And exhale, framing that foot. Step back into plank. Your choice, vinyasa, child's pose, or pressing back into down dog. And we'll all meet back in down dog. And on your next inhale, stepping forward with that left leg now. And coming up into warrior two on the other side. Grounding into those feet. Bending into that front leg. Reaching for both sides with those fingertips. Navel's in and up. Shoulders are down and back. And inhale up. Exhale, bend it in, changing how I breathe. Inhale up. And exhaling back down. Deep inhale. And exhale, frame that foot, stepping back. And then your choice. Vinyasa, down dog, or child's pose. And on your next inhale, you're stepping forward with that right leg. We're coming back into warrior two. And with that back hand, drop it to the back thigh and reaching up overhead into reverse warrior. Hand may want to stay here or it can reach around the back. And inhale back up to warrior two. Exhale, drop that forearm down and reaching up overhead into extended side angle. Now my hand doesn't want to stay here because of my shoulder, so I actually place it behind, and you can see how that gives me a nice twist. Now to start, we can use the forearm here to get us into a twist, but then see if you can hold that twist without the forearm. And inhale back up into warrior two, facing all 10 toes to the long side of the mat, bringing our hands to our hips now, and hinging over into wide-legged forward fold. Now in this pose, sometimes we tend to rest back on our heels. Make sure our weight is even in all four corners of the feet. And hands have a lot of options, so they can be right underneath your face. They can actually walk forward, and then you can come up on your toes. It gives you a little bit of a sensation of what it would be like to come into an inversion. Your body's kind of like, wait, whoa, where are we going? Or you can turn your fingertips towards the back, walk underneath you, or even grab for those ankles. You can hug the elbows, do a gentle rock back and forth. So yet again, we're checking in with the body. What does it need? And bringing those hands underneath your face, engaging in the quads, engaging in the abs. Raise, raise, raise. And we're turning that back foot now towards the back side of the room and coming into a warrior two facing the other way. Make sure we're grounding in both the feet. Make sure you can see those toes. Try not to let that knee do crazy things. Everything's in a beautiful alignment. And big inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, framing the foot, stepping into plank, your choice, vinyasa, child's pose, or down dog. And on your next inhale, you're stepping forward with your right foot. Nope, your left foot. Is that right? Left foot, I'm pretty sure. I'm just trying to face you. And we're dropping that back hand down, reaching overhead into reverse warrior. Hand may want to stay here or reach around the back. And inhale, coming back up. Exhale, forearm down and reaching over into extended side angle. And thinking about this being a twist and a heart opener here. And inhale, coming back up, facing all 10 toes. Make any adjustments that you need. Hands on the hips, hinging at those hips, and slowly lower. Now, if you tried one thing last time, you might want to try something different. Last time, did you walk your hands forward and come to your tiptoes? Did you walk your hands behind you? Did you reach for those ankles? Start to explore and try something new. And 2 more breaths here. Planting your right hand right underneath your face, sweep that left arm up high. Thinking about the fingertips reaching towards that ceiling, even though I'm not quite doing that. It's a goal of mine. And inhale, reach. And exhale, bringing that hand down. And inhale, twisting to the other side. And bringing both hands down. Bringing both hands to the hips, ground in those feet, engage the abs, slowly coming up, beautiful. Walk those feet together, deep inhale. And exhale, hands to heart center. 1 round of breath here, deep inhale. And exhale. Beautiful job. We're gonna set up for a tree. Before we start tree, just remember trees look so many different ways, and whatever your tree looks like, it is still beautiful, like all trees. Planting that left foot, we're going to kickstand with the right foot. Now you can kind of already tell that it feels like a balance pose here. And if you want to stay here and this be enough, that's fine. If you want to do this near a wall, that's fine. Just think about maybe just putting one tiny finger on the wall instead of like really using the wall, or a chair would be fine as well. When you're ready, you're going to bring that ankle up to calf, or you can bring it up to that inner thigh, but not the knee. So we can't push on that knee because our knee doesn't bend that way. And so when you're ready, let's go ahead and set up, bringing that foot to calf or inner thigh. Hands can stay here. They can come up to prayer, or you can grow your branches up overhead. And the key to this is 1 breath, and 2 is finding a focal point. We call that a drishti. And just find that thing to stare at and continue breathing. 3 more breaths. Release any tension in the jaw. And big inhale. And exhale, slowly come out of it. Shake it out. Beautiful trees. Hopefully you feel beautiful and strong. And go into the other side now. So we're planting that right foot. First, we just kickstand the left, kind of rotating that thigh out. And just because you did calf on one side doesn't mean you can't do thigh on the other side. Like, it's pretty interesting how you're going to have a side that, wow, that was awesome, and a side that, ooh, I need a little work. Don't judge yourself. We're meeting ourselves where we are. And now we're bringing that foot up to either calf or up to inner thigh. Hands can come to prayer, or they can grow up overhead, reaching those branches. I've even seen some people do one branch up and one branch down. It tends to make me wobbly, but if you want to try it, try it. I'm trying to be pretty still so I don't make you fall because I'm wobbly. And one more big inhale. And exhale, come out of it. Beautiful, guys. And coming back down to hands and knees now. Starting with traditional cat-cow, at least 2 rounds of traditional. Inhale, chin up, heart open. Exhale, big curve in the spine. Inhale. Exhale, tucking that chin. And just like the beginning, feel free to stay with traditional or start to explore. So maybe chin to hip, hip to chin. Maybe big spine rotations. Maybe knee and hip rotations. And whatever you've done to one side, take the next few breaths to even it up. And when you feel like it's even, walking those knees wide, toes together, and pressing back into your version of child's pose. And on your next inhale, coming back up to hands and knees, I can show you a little trick here. We're going to come to seated any way you want to, but you can try crossing your ankles behind you and just rolling over the top. You can stay facing correctly on your mat. I just want to face you guys, so I'm going to rotate off my mat. Our legs are together, and those toes are flexed towards my nose. And I'm actually going to show you 2 different things here. So first, let's kind of relax those toes a little bit and bend the knees and just kind of fold over. Do you see how that's releasing that tension in the lower back and we're laying the abs on the thighs? That's what a standing forward fold should feel like. I feel almost nothing in those hamstrings. It's really all about those lower back. Now we're going to straighten those legs, flex the toes towards the nose. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, start to fold. Wherever your body wants to curve, stop it from doing that. Stay that straight spine and bring those hands down. Now, can you tell this is hamstrings? This is not what a standing forward fold should feel like. I really want you to feel that difference now. And as we inhale, we straighten that spine. And as we exhale, we might go a little bit further. This is not about how low can you go with a curve. This is about how straight can we make that spine. And make sure every inhale we're lengthening. And with every exhale, maybe we go a little bit further. We get tons of this movement with phones and computers. It is very rare that we have that straight spine, that neck is beautifully aligned with the spine. So this is really about taking care of that spine and the neck. And 2 more breaths here. Deep inhale and exhale. And 1 more. And exhale. Walking our hands up straight now. Pulling in. Since this is a mirror, I don't even know what leg it's going to tell you. So I'm just going to tell you what leg I'm pulling in. I'm pulling in my left leg. I know it's a mirror and then a mirror again, so maybe you are seeing my left leg. I actually have no idea. I'll know when I watch it. So the same kind of concept, still flexing those toes to the nose, but we're aiming for that pinky toe now. So we're almost going to twist that torso a little bit. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Start to hinge at the hips, reach. When your body wants to curve, don't let it do that curve. Straight spine, dropping those hands down, maybe to a shin, maybe to an ankle, and maybe to the toes. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale, maybe go a little further, keeping that integrity in the spine and neck. 3 more breaths here. Deep inhale. And with every inhale, we lengthen. And exhale, fold. Beautiful. Inhale, walking up, switching the legs. And same thing. Now we're twisting that torso a little bit. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, fold. And inhale, walking those hands up, bringing the soles of the feet down to the floor now, bending the knees in, grabbing behind the thighs, and keeping that straight spine. So that first step is we're just leaning back. I think you can tell about what I'm doing there. So keeping the straight spine and leaning back. And you can already feel that in the abs. And so if that's as far as you want to take it today, that's fine. If you want to take it a little bit further, the next step is reaching out with those hands. If you want to take it a little bit further, the next step is lifting the feet off the ground. If you want to take it a little bit further, straighten those legs and have them out in front of you. Or if you want to try, you can even grab for those toes and extend those legs out. I do not think that would be flattering in a video, so I'm going to refrain from doing that. And deep inhale. And as you exhale, bring the bottoms of the feet together and just curve over that cobbler's pose. And inhale, coming back up, setting up one more time, planting those feet, grab behind the thighs, straight spine, first step, lean back. If you want to take it a little bit further, hands out. And if you want to take it further, lift those feet up, or you can straighten the legs, reach for those toes, and have them out here. And 3 more breaths. And deep inhale. Exhale, curl over that cobbler's pose. 2 more breaths here. And inhale, coming up. And we're coming into our backs now, any way you want to. And we're going to still bring the bottoms of the feet to the floor. And we're going to do a couple of rounds of bridge. And then the third round, you can choose to do bridge or choose to do wheel. I'm not going to do wheel in this one since this is the first one. But if you're interested and don't know what that is, feel free to make a comment that you'd really like to know what wheel is. So we're walking those heels close to the glutes, but not letting those legs flail out. So as close as they can get, but still have control that those legs are staying in. Arms are down by the side, palms facing down, and we're pushing up into those heels. And you can kind of probably still walk your feet a little bit closer. Make sure those knees aren't flailing out with control. And we're thinking about walking our shoulders underneath. So if you're feeling difficult doing that, you can grab the edges of the mat, and that really gives you leverage to walk those shoulders. Like I probably got another inch or two just then. If you want to, you can reach your hands underneath your back. If you have a block, you can put a block under you and see if you can get a little bit more height. My shoulders do not allow me to reach my hands from behind my back. I have an army injury. And deep inhale. And exhale. Just a little rest before we set up again. All right. Heels are planted. Palms facing down. And lift. Walk those shoulders underneath. make sure our knees are not flailing out, engaging those inner thighs. Lift, 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 lift. And inhale and exhale, slowly lower. And if wheel is in your practice on this round, feel free to do wheel. And push. Walking the shoulders under, looking for height in that torso. And slowly lower, beautiful. Stretch those toes to one side, stretching the fingertips to the other end of the room. Reach, reach, reach. Oh, beautiful. Bringing the soles of the feet back to the ground and just moving into some gentle windshield wipers. We're dropping both knees to one side and then the other. And I like inhale, lift, and exhale, fold to one side. And now bringing our arms up into a T position with palms down. Drop both knees over to the right. And we'll be here for about 4 more breaths. And inhale, bringing them both up, and exhale to the other side. Inhale, receiving. Exhale, letting go. Two more breaths here. And inhale, bringing both knees up. Hug in those knees. You can either reach behind the thighs or over the shins and gently just rock back and forth, massaging that lower back. And now stretch the toes to one side of the room and fingertips to the other. Reach, reach, reach. And now hug in only that right knee, either grabbing behind the thighs or over the shin. And we're going to do an intentional motion. So we're tracing a line from our belly button. So pull that knee all the way over to the belly button and slowly pulling it over to that right armpit. And I want you to check in. So your body's either going to want that motion back and forth, or it's going to want you to hold in an area and just take a couple of breaths. And one more big inhale. And exhale, release that leg down, hugging in the other leg. And yet again, pulling it all the way over to that belly button, and then pulling it over to that left armpit. And this leg might crave something completely different. We tend to have a strength side and a flexibility side. And we want to give both sides what it needs. So did this side crave that movement? Or did it want you to hold in a spot and breathe through? And two more breaths here. Big inhale. Exhale, releasing that leg. One more big stretch, reaching the toes to one side and the fingertips to the other side. And then hug in both knees and rocking back and forth. We're about to set up for Shavasana. So if there's anything else that your body needs before we set up, maybe it wants to take a happy baby, really honor your body. And when you're ready, we're setting up for Shavasana. Shavasana should be so comfortable. So if you want to put a pillow underneath your head, if you want to put a bolster or roll up a towel until they roll and put it underneath your knees, you can cover up with a blanket. But generally the legs are about a 45-degree angle, and we just let those ankles relax out. And generally the arms, they should be comfortable, but generally they're in about a 45-degree angle. And we're just relaxing. And palms can be face up, think about receiving. Palms can be face down, thinking about letting it go. And we're going to take a few breaths to settle in. And I do recommend you finding about a 6 to an 8 minute song that doesn't have a drum beat, that's just completely relaxing, so that you can really settle in to Shavasana. Deep inhale and exhale. One more deep inhale and exhale. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, rotating the wrists and the ankles. Slowly starting to find bigger and bigger movements. And when you're ready, rolling over to either side in the fetal position. And we'll be here for at least 2 rounds of breath. And keeping the eyes closed and only moving when you're ready. Coming up to a comfortable seated position. Deep inhale and exhale. One more deep inhale and exhale. And I have a little something to share with you. Conscious breathing is the most basic practice for touching peace. I would like to offer you this short exercise. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. This is like drinking a glass of cool water. You feel the freshness permeate your body. Breathing out, I smile. One smile can relax hundreds of muscles in your face and make you master of yourself. We recite this line as we breathe in again, and we don't think of anything else. We know exactly where we are. I know this is a wonderful moment. We recite this as we breathe out again. To be truly here now and to enjoy the present moment is our most important task. Deep inhale and exhale. Bringing your hands to heart center. Take time today to show someone gratitude, to show someone kindness, and to just be you. Thank you so much for your practice and your presence. Namaste.